Welcome to the Diablo 4 quarterly update for September 2020. OMG, chat. It's by Luis Barraga and David Kim. David Kim did a big post about itemization, so I'm excited to see what he has to say this time. Oh, that's cool. Nice, dude. This is me strapped to my stream chair. Like the three-eyed raven. We're going to learn about introduction in phase 1, skills and talents in phase 2, Sorceress enchantment system. Oh. And endgame oh. Beautiful. I just want to skip down, dude. You know I do, but I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it right. To the Diablo community, that's us, chat. That's us. Hello and welcome to a new installment of our quarterly Diablo 4 developer update. We enjoyed hearing your thoughts on our last blog and have followed many of the discussions kicked off within the community. It's very encouraging for us to hear that you appreciate the steady update, cadence, and behind the scenes looks at our early work. We're also excited by all the positive reactions we're seeing to the art. Oh yeah, the art's beautiful. Cinematics, top tier. And the addition of open world gameplay. Well, I don't think people like this, but I like it. You're stretching it. The team has poured over a lot of constructive feedback regarding the current direction of itemization. And we're looking to give you an update on the items later. We're looking to give you an update on the items later this year. Huh? Not now? Some progress we've made will speak directly to the questions we've seen raised in the community, so stay tuned. We technically did mention it. I couldn't be more excited to share the details in today's update. Our lead system designer, David Kim, will take us on a deep dive, the ins and outs of the new skills and talent systems. We're currently playtesting the new systems, and the early feedback is super promising. Early feedback from employees that don't want to say the wrong thing and get fired? I'm just kidding. From who? Not me. I hope you enjoy it, and as always, we'll be following conversations on our forums as well as our community sites. Who's the early feedback from? I'm kidding, but not kidding. Yeah. You get feedback from, anyway. Skills and talents. Honestly, I'm the #1 rated streamer in my household on Twitch, so. Today we're going to look at skills and talents, a topic many of you have asked about. But first, a quick update on things we've shared in our previous development blogs. Okay. Ancestral demonic power. Before I read this, I hate this. Just so, as somebody who hates it, you know where I'm coming from. To begin, some of you let us know that the fantasy of ancestral demonic angelic power isn't cool enough in the current version of the pitch. Duly noted. Another problem we identified was the ratio of effort to rewards. For example, in order to gain a specific minor bonuses, players would most likely have to carry around several extra pieces of gear, each within different amounts of ancestral demonic angelic power on them. You would need to constantly calculate the power of the levels. So I think they think that we don't want something difficult, and they're like, okay, we'll dumb it down. But this is just me guessing, right? But it's just like a set. It's just annoying, right? I'll keep reading. I'm just saying, it's not like we can't handle complicated builds. It's just so obnoxious. It's like a set, basically. Anyway. And calculate each power of those levels, items, and compare with the overall power. It felt like an excessive amount of bookkeeping for the player. It just feels like a set, but okay. However, one thing we really liked about the system was the gameplay of managing stats in a meaningful way to hit certain bonus thresholds that make your items better suited for the playstyle you're going for. We need some more time for the iteration rework, and we're looking forward to sharing more itemization in our next quarterly blog. You could take the item and dip it into a demonic pond, right? You fight maybe you go through how PoE has, I don't know, Ascension, you go to the Ascendancy stuff. You take that item and you go to a demonic lake and you fight a bunch of enemies, do some stuff, and then you can dip it into the lake, and then now that's blessed, like enchanted in a whole extra slot with demonic power, then it won't matter, right? Then it's like you can do that, but you don't take away from the items that we have. There's already lower itemization on the items in general. So now when you're muddling it up with angelic and demonic power, it just doesn't. So I wouldn't mind doing something like an endgame thing where we go through and for the angelic power, I don't know, you fight bad angels or something, and then, you bring it up to heaven and you get light shined on it. I don't know, dude. Like, you know what I mean? You could do the system, just I wouldn't put it in the items. That's for another video. I'm excited to read this as always, okay? Legendary items. We're exploring some big changes in the space for 2 reasons. Number 1, we agree with the feedback that a character's power is currently too dependent on items. We plan to put more of the player's power back into the character. There's only like 5 items in the... What do you mean, man? I'm so critical, but I can't help it. What do you mean? We only have... In Diablo 3? Yes. In Diablo 4, we only have like 5 slots, right? Or something. We plan to put out more of the player's power back onto the character. Well, in Diablo 3, we have Paragon is actually more main stat than you can even get from gear. So I don't really know what they're talking about. So it wouldn't even make sense in Diablo 3. We agree that the character's power is too dependent on items. I don't know where that's from. We plan to put more of the player's power back into the character. So like talents and stuff like that. Make build choices more impactful rather than have the majority of the player power coming from items they have equipped. That being said, we're bringing Paragon back. I'm just kidding. That being said, it's important that we strike the right balance so that itemization choices always feel meaningful. I like this line. This is good. Okay. We've also had a very mixed team feedback regarding core itemization. We're currently looking at how to best differentiate our various item qualities. For example, should magic quality items have higher affix stats than rare items? Yeah, you should make magic have 3 stats and they go higher than like the rare items, right? And legendary. And then you have rares that have 5 stats, for instance, and you can get a more broad range of abilities and stats. So there's some times where you might use this and there's sometimes you might use this. And then legendaries have a whole extra affix on itself, right? And legendaries should have so 3, 5, and then legendaries should have 4. So it's less than rares, but then they have that extra affix for their 5th. Yeah. You can expect to hear more about legendary items in our next blog. Okay. New skill system. Whoa, it's an actual tree. Okay. As Luis mentioned, we have made some major changes to Diablo 4's skills and talent systems. We've been reading a lot through the comments from the community and agree that the talent system needs more depth. Yes. I 100% agree. Similarly, skill system progression felt too simple, which created issues where a player would have no meaningful reason to spend their skill points. With this valuable feedback in mind, we've been iterating on a new skill system. As you can see from the screenshot below, we have separate sections for skills and passives in our freshly painted tree. Take a look. What's this down here? Like the best talents or something? So this is all Sorceress stuff. I mean, it looks better. But it is still that Assassin's Creed level, not the PoE level, right? Or something like that. I'm happier. It's getting there. You could easily change it with another tree, like a character tree, and then like an ascendancy tree, or like a specialty tree, right? You can have like 2 trees. Or something. But it's better. It's better. I like it. What do you guys feel about it? Needs more roots? Yeah, I would imagine you start up here somewhere? No. You start down here? You can start on one of 3 tiers, maybe? You start from the bottom and work your way up? Or do you... Because there's way too many starting points up here. So it branches off. It makes sense that it branches off. Needs more roots. Getting there. So people are saying needs a buff, getting there, needs more roots, needs to mature more. So I think these are the starting points, right? I mean, I'm sure if I keep reading, I'll find out. Like maybe you start off here, like this is like frost, you know, fire and then lightning. And then you come over here and then you can branch off. Lightning, fire, frost. Fire, lightning, frost, right? So it makes sense that you can pick different routes. That's pretty cool. Cool. So far, so good. I mean, it looks badass. This is the kind of stuff I want to see. This is the Sorceress skill tree. The branches contain skills and upgrades, while the roots contain powerful passive effects. Wait, so where do you start, bruh? The branches contain skills and upgrades, while the roots contain powerful passives. Maybe you can start anywhere? I don't know. In the middle? Maybe there's a middle section? I don't know. Weird. The upper skill section is where you spend the points that you earn leveling up. Oh, damn, so you can start up here? That's really cool. Wait. The upper skill section is where you will spend points that you earn leveling up. Here you unlock brand new skills, unlock functionality for these skills, and unlock passive points that you can spend on lower passive section of the tree. Like maybe you start in the middle and then you have to like, this to get here is like 20 points or something, I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep reading. Yeah, we've seen like a lot of these abilities before. Conjure a ball of lightning that moves forward, zapping enemies. You can spend skill points on square nodes to unlock new active skills for your character. Okay. Ball lightning. Ball lightning collapses into crackling energy at the end of its path. Spend points on a circular upgrade nodes to enhance active skills you unlocked. So like if you take fire shield, now this fire shield will do double damage back to the attacker or something like that. Okay. As you explore branches of the tree, you will find passive points. There is like a little bit of passive points trickled in, I noticed. So they could add these little ruby nodes, like these little passive nodes. You can see them in here, these little rupees. They could sprinkle them in for sure. Like these little, oh wait, this is at the bottom, no. This is at the bottom, yeah. As you explore branches, you will find passive points. Lightning damage has a 3% chance to create a crackling of energy. You can spend passive points in the roots of the tree to unlock powerful effects. The skill tree you see above consists of many specific nodes, a sample of which you can see in the screenshots above. If we imagine every single node on that massive tree affecting different skills in different ways, the path that you decide to take will determine big power increases and playstyle choices. The passive part of the system is where you'll find more general upgrades to your character. These effects are not specific or to particular skills. Okay, so the passives are just like maybe, I don't know, increase intelligence or whatever. Therefore, the skill tree will have a good mix of all types of different choices for the player to make. One last thing we want to point out is that players will not be able to acquire every skill tree node. That's good. That's good, because then it makes it like, you know, work. You know, then it makes it like a treat, not like a job to complete it. We're currently aiming for 30 to 40% of the nodes. Whoa, 30 to 40%? How many nodes is there? Like 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 50, like 60 nodes? So we'll get like 20-ish nodes. I don't know where you start, but like, let's say you start, let's say you start like, I don't know. This looks like a blizzard spell. Let's say you start here for blizzard and you go like this, dink, 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 3, 4, 5. It's hard to see, 6, 7. And then you go, I don't know, into here, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then you're like, okay, so then I have like, I don't know, 5 to 10 more nodes. And then there might be a few more like, okay, maybe this will give me other stuff. Then you branch off like that. I'm assuming like this is how it'll go. And then each one of the branches will have different like main skills that you can pick like that. It's not bad, man. It's not bad. Obviously, as a build creator and somebody who likes to play off meta stuff, I always want more, right? I'm always gonna want more, right? But this is not bad. This is not bad, dude. Would climb the tree the other way when you get the passive point from the top. The skills are up here, so you have to come up here to get the skill to play the build, right? There's only 40 levels in the game, and you probably get 1 passive per level. So if you start at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess if you get your first ability around level 6, maybe, I guess that's not bad. It makes sense that you go from the roots and branch out, but it's weird that you don't get your ability. This is how you get abilities, is doing this tree, I think. We'll see. Either way, it looks pretty cool so far. All right. I like that they don't want to give us everything. I want to play a lot of classes and a lot of builds. I don't want to be like, you know, and I want to feel like my build is a build, like this is a lightning build, not like I could do everything, you know? I don't know.
Stay safe, everybody. 3.
Yeah, what's up, Och? How you doing, man? Sorceress enchantment system. Many of you might remember Barbarian's unique arsenal system, their ability to carry and smoothly swap between multiple deadly weapons. So if you guys don't know, Barbs can carry 1 extra legendary than any other class. It was kind of like their unique thing to a Barb, which makes sense, right? Barbs that like thematically have like a lot of badass weapons, right? We've also been exploring unique class mechanics for other classes. The main goal for us here is to have a very unique class-specific mechanic in Diablo 4. We have this goal because Diablo is the kind of game where many players try out different builds, that's me, or classes, especially during seasonal play. We believe that unique class mechanics with very different strengths and playstyles compared to other classes will make exploring different classes and playing the game much more fun. More builds, more unique playstyles would equal more fun. 100%. 100%. You know? For the Sorceress, we've been trying out the enchantment system. This is how it works. Oh man, I'm ready. Are you ready to absorb this info? I'm ready, boys. Conjure a ball. Okay, this is the skill. Conjure a ball of lightning that slowly moves forward, zapping enemies. Enchant slot effect. When crackling energy would form, ball lightning is formed instead. Wow. So we did read some talents that you can spec into branching particle effects. So I think if you enchant it, those particle effects will turn into more balls, right? So then you could have like almost like a hungering arrow effect where if it would crackle, now it turns into a ball. So it kind of splits. Like all the crackle splits are now more balls. Ball lightning no longer collapses into crackling energy. It's basically turned into balls now. And then we saw it earlier up here that you can spec into it. That's kind of cool. How many enchant slots can we do? So like if you're a sorceress and your class ability is to enhance your own abilities in a different way. So like if you had firewall, right? You can spec into something where you get a double firewall or a firebox instead. So they get runes, yeah. That's a good way to put it. So they get special runes. Man, I want to play this game now. The ball lightning skill, unlike other classes, each sorceress has 2 possible effects. Okay, sorceress skills can be placed into 2 locations. So do we get 2? We get 2, right? An active slot that every other class has access to, and an enchantment slot. If you place it in an enchantment slot, you can no longer use it as an active skill, but your character instead gains a secondary bonus power. Pretty cool, man. Ball lightning as an enchantment. You gain the secondary effect by placing it in an enchantment slot instead of an active skill slot. Are these like enchantment slots up here? Is that what it's showing or no? The power you gain from enchantments is extremely significant, and you can currently make builds based around your enchantments, your active skills, or a mix of both. That is fun. Here's an example of the system using the meteor skill. Meteor allows a fiery chunk of rock to fall from the sky right here, as seen above. Boop. If you choose it as a slot enchantment, you won't be able to control your meteors, but they'll fall on enemies periodically. Why can't we control it, man? The skill is still under development and may differ. They're trying to balance the power. Why not let us just cast? I guess you just get a passive. That's just that one specific spell. Okay. That's just that one. So the other ones we can, the ball lightning one, it'll split on its own, and then this will split on its own. This is activating on its own too. I just hope they're all not passive. I mean, if you're gonna build around it, then wouldn't you be able to control it? Like if you can augment a twister, like you can't have a build based around something that you can't control, because then you would need another spell to use. It says they go into a passive skill, meaning you can't cast them. Yeah. I like it, but I always want more control, right? Maybe. How can you build around meteors if it just falls randomly? I guess is what I'm saying. If you can't cast it and it falls randomly, how can you make a build based around it? Right? Because you can't predict where it goes and you'd be running around praying for RNG. That's my initial thought is like, wait, how can I build around meteors now? Unless I just don't use the enchantment. And then what if another enchantment doesn't affect my build? Unless I can enchant like mage armor. You can cast it. Okay. You just can't cast the souped up one. You won't be able to control your meteors, but they'll fall periodically. If I can still cast my normal meteor and let the auto enchantment, then that's cool. Yeah, if I could still cast my main meteor and be a meteor spec and have this extra rogue meteor, then that's cool. As long as I can control. If it just turns it into bombardment, which is the way I interpreted it first, then you can't build around bombardment because it's like random. Like nobody makes just a bombardment build. Like they make like, oh, they have other abilities, like, you know, rogue meteor. Anyway, overall thumbs up. This is a cool mechanic. I know it is kind of like runes, but it's cool. We want more ways to play and more ways to spec into a certain unique playstyle. We've been testing this class mechanic for a while now, and the team feedback has been really positive. This new system now empowers you to make some interesting choices to strategize around which skills you would want to slot in as an enchantment, as you won't be able to put one skill in both places. So you can't. So you can't make a meteor build, bro. Unless I'm tripping. We're also exploring a druid-specific class mechanic as well. That's good to know. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. You can tell me in the comments below. I'm sure you will. We'll have more information on that to share in the future. Endgame progression. Oh man. My heart. But what if I want to be a, you know? Anyway. None of us get to play the game, so we don't know how good it is yet. So we're just like speculating. I'm guessing at BlizzCon Online they're announcing other two classes. Yeah. Lastly, we've been hard at work on our endgame character progression system. Okay. This important feature is going to take a little more time. It won't be in the next blog, but we wanted to mention it here because it will be another significant source of power that comes from your class. The system is intended to provide more depth and replayability than what Paragon currently offers in Diablo. More depth and replayability than current Paragon. I mean, you know what I mean? The current system is very light. So just about anything would be deeper than the Paragon system. So it's a low bar, you know what I'm saying? We and many Blizzard gamers have talked about the concept of easy to learn, difficult to master. We believe that endgame progression system is where the difficult to master component will come in. And it should meet the expectations of the most hardcore Diablo players out there. We're excited to read through the feedback from the community regarding our revamped skill and talent system, as well as our new Sorceress enchantment system. We are always reading through the comments on the forums, Reddit. You're gonna lead with Reddit? Social media, and more of your feedback as always. Please remember that none of this is final as the game is still actively in development. Your constructive discussions around these features will help. Man, we got baited on the end game, dude. Unless there's more. We'll see you in the next quarterly update. Man, we got baited, bruh. Endgame progression system. About the endgame, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. Yeah. Catfished? No, we got catfished super hard. So we learned about the class ability for sorceresses. We got an updated look at the talent tree. Right? Which are both positive. Okay, let's give some constructive feedback if they watch my video or they're watching me now, I don't know. Okay. The talent tree system, I love that you can only get a third of it. That's great. I don't know. I would like to get the ability. I can't really understand what's going on here because it's like we don't know where we're starting really. I would like to get the ability that we're going to spec into relatively early on. If it takes an hour to get to level 10 and then at level 10 we can play that build, then that's cool. You know? Like around 30 minutes to an hour, 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in the season. 30 minutes to an hour, we get our end game, one of our end game builds. Like if I'm gonna play Firewall, then maybe I can pick up Firewall around level 10 or so. So, and then from there I can branch off into powering up the Firewall, for instance. Obviously, I would like more choices, always. But this is a step in the right direction. So, main ability relatively early. That way we can enjoy the thematic of every season. Like if this season I want to play, you know, Lightning Ball build, then I should be in Lightning Ball around level 10, I'd say. And then I'm sure they're gonna allow respecs. I'm sure. And then yeah. And then the last parts of the talent tree that we get after we hit, there should be extra talents for like the first time you beat Uber Lilith, if that's a thing, or the first time you complete your season journey, then you get your final skill point. The first time you they should get your final 3 to 5 points maybe, like once you do something big in the game, you know? That'd be cool. And I also would like another ascendancy tree. There's a room right here. Like a fire ascendancy. Or something like that. Or another page. But, you know, that's another video. Hey. So, yeah, overall good. My feedback for the abilities, for the Sorceress ability. My only concern is... let's say I want to play a Meteor build, right? That's it. I'm Blood. I love Meteor Shower, Meteor build. Is there going to be another option for me to put my enchantment point into to power up that build? Otherwise, it's going to go wasted, right? Since I can't put it in this ability because it cucks it. Like, is there going to be other skills that I can power up, like Frost Armor, Mage Armor, right? I don't know, black. Is there going to be another meaningful choice for my rune or enchantment ability? Because it seems like when I use it on Meteor, I can't manually cast it. So I'm not going to sit here for 10 minutes and wait for it to hit this goat in the top corner. That's my concern, I guess. Other than that, like the Crackling Lance rune makes sense because now every time I throw out Ball Lightning, it's going to have more Ball Lightning. So you can build around Ball Lightning. You see how that makes sense? They should change this and make it so when you cast Meteor, there's like a few other little tiny meteors around it or something. That way you can spec it. But, you know, that's just my early opinion. Yeah, there'll be more than one option. It did say there'll be 2 options, right? So maybe the one option is to make it passive, and the second option would be to, yeah. There's somewhere it says, I think there's 2 options, so. Overall, it's a good blog post. I enjoyed this the most out of every other blog post that they've ever made because it talks about the important stuff, you know? A lot of the other blogs focused on the first 40 hours of gameplay, like the story, the lore, the, you know, the tribes and all that, like where the UI is, right? But this is going to focus on our first 4,000 hours, not just our first 40 hours beating the game. So like this is like how we're going to spend our life in Diablo, right? Is the end game. So this is my favorite blog post by far, and it wasn't even that much info, to be honest. Arsenal system. Is it going to link to it? Get them, Barbs. So if you like the video, hey, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here on Twitch, then hit that follow button. I stream a lot of Diablo, over 8,000 hours, in fact. And we're just gearing up for the PTR, reading the D4 blog. So